Alrighty, y'all. Welcome back to the show. Today, this American visits AskEurope, the subreddit. Let's go. First up, pretty mind-blowing for me as an American. Someone asked, does your country serve beer at McDonald's? Beer at McDonald's. That sounds freaking awesome. That's totally not a thing here in the U.S. I'm American. I've recently started looking at foreign McDonald's menus for fun, and I was surprised when I looked at Czechia's menu to find that they have beer on the menu. The menu I looked at only had one brand, and I'm sure it's probably on the cheaper side, but we don't do this in America because we have drive-thrus, and if someone orders a beer for themselves in a drive-thru and started drinking in a car, that would be a liability, and yes, quite frankly, illegal. So I ask you this, does your country do this too, or is Czechia the only one that does this? McDonald's in Spain has been selling beer for ages, including via drive-thru. That is insane. Someone even responded, really in the drive-thru? Well, I'm aware that the EU doesn't have the same you can sue for anything laws, so maybe McDonald's US doesn't want to get sued. Yeah, that's probably part of it, not to mention it's illegal, plus they can be held liable. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have heard. Everyone loves to sue each other here in America. No, really, like there are billboards everywhere, especially big cities with like lawyers on them, Better Call Saul style, and basically advertising like, hey, someone wronged you? Call me and I'll help you sue the crap out of them. And to respond, someone from Austria says, yeah, you can't do that in Europe. Most courts will laugh your ass out and you will end up with a hefty legal bill. Someone adds, though, surprisingly, the U.S. isn't the country that has the most lawsuits per capita. It's actually Germany. But look, the fact that you serve beer at McDonald's in what looks to be a lot of countries in Europe, wow, that is freaking awesome, not gonna lie. I don't go to McDonald's at all, but if they sold beer, I don't know, they might get me in the door. This is an interesting one about American culture. Americans place a very high value on their pets and often treat them as family. Is this the case in Europe? According to WikiTravel, in regard to pets, many Americans value their pet as a family member. It would not be a good idea to make a rude comment about somebody's dog or cat. Such remarks will be greeted with hostility and could lead to an altercation. I think this is pretty accurate, but I didn't think the U.S. was unique in regard. Yeah, that's true. I don't know about the altercation part. Maybe someone might just be offended, but yeah, you certainly wouldn't want to hurt someone's pet. I mean, that would be rude. Yes, this is my experience as well as pretty much everyone I've ever known here in the United States. Pets are family. They're treated like family. They're involved in a lot of things. And, I guess if you want to get deep, seriously technical, I mean, I guess they're not technically on the same level as a human in the family, but they're damn close, right? Like, people really do care for and love their pets to the fullest extent. Top-rated answer from Germany. Yes, and there are jokes about it for decades. However, there are regional differences. In a city, dogs are seen as family members and a status symbol. Show me your dog and I will tell you who you are. No joke. On the countryside, dogs mostly live outside, protect property, and have to fulfill their role. I only stopped hating dogs when I moved to the city. As a kid, I was a very good runner. At times, I had to. Someone from Italy adds, certainly, if you say to someone that their dog or cat is horrible, most people won't be happy about it. I guess that is true in every country. That makes sense to me. Here in my city, small dogs are fairly common. Cats a lot less, so as pets, or at least visible. Not many gardens and lots of apartment blocks, so most cats are house cats. There are some strays around, both cats and dogs. However, I'd say most dog owners treat their pet very well. We have lots of beauty parlors for pets, and people spend a lot of money on vet fees, food, treats, etc. So I think it's fair to say this seems like pretty much the case in Europe as well. Pets are seen basically as family members. Families invest in the pets, take care of them, sometimes treat them to some luxuries, and at the same time, maybe out in rural, open areas, maybe on farms and such, similar to here in America. They will, of course, be loved, but they're almost a utility, right? They help around outside. They have some duties, perhaps, and that seems to be basically similar culture to how dogs and, of course, all pets are treated here in the U.S. It's always fun to find out for all our differences we have, there are some things that are similar between Europe and America and elsewhere. Here's something interesting. Do schools in your country teach English with an American or a British accent? Here in Peru, the schools teach English with an American accent, but there's also a famous institute called Britannico that teaches English with a British/London accent. That's interesting. I never really thought of that. Yeah, how would that work in different regions and countries? In Germany adds, our schools try to achieve received pronunciation, but most pupils end up with something I would call U-boat captain from a 1950s war movie accent. An American adds, met a German in Germany once who claimed to have never been to the U.S., but spoke perfect English with absolutely no accent. It really weirded me out. While that's kind of weird wording, I assume since they're American, they're used to an American accent, and they claim they had absolutely no accent. So that would really mean they had an American accent. Because American accents are a thing. English doesn't actually originate here, right? We use it. And we have our own accent compared to a lot of other English-speaking countries. It's still an accent, though, fellow Americans. If I go to the UK and I go to a pub, right, and everyone has, different unique English accents, I'm going to stick out with my American accent, and they're going to think I have the accent. All based on perspective. Another thing I just thought of is spelling, because spelling does differ within English-speaking countries. Someone from Switzerland mentions in spelling, both variants are accepted as long as it's consistent. So spelling color, C-O-L-O-R, or color, C-O-L-O-U-R, are both fine as long as you don't mix. At least that's how it was at my school. And someone adds from Canada, would my favorite with a U, color with an O, is red be considered incorrect? Yes, that would be incorrect. Yeah, at least be consistent. Whether you like the C-O-L-O-R or C-O-L-O-U-R, just be consistent across the board. I'm American, so of course I spell it, F-O-V-O-R-I-T-E, color, C-O-L-O-R. And that's how it is to me. Having the U in there is quite odd for me just because I'm not used to it. But hey, at least I spell it consistently, right? This is an interesting one because I'm sure this varies really across any family. It really doesn't matter on earth where you are. So this is kind of just a general question with really not a correct answer. The assumption is Americans eat fast food all the time, and that's just not true. I think we just have a lot of famous fast food brands or franchises, and it's something we're known for. We're also known for really expensive high-end food. We're known for really awesome local food, local joints in little holes-in-the-wall places in whether it's a small town or a big city. There's just so much different kinds of food here, as well as cooking at home. Cooking is a big thing here. Why wouldn't it be? And in my family, I have to admit, my wife is absolutely amazing. She's just a great cook. And why would I want to eat out all the time when my wife loves cooking? We love talking about what we want to eat and going out and buying the ingredients and cooking at home. It's just fun and it tastes great. So we have a great cooking culture within our household, even though we're American. Do we eat out? Technically, yes. But do we cook at home? Yes, pretty much every day. All right, Denmark. Practically every day, though sometimes we have leftovers for the next day. Often the leftovers are then made into lunch so we can have something new for dinner. It's more interesting that way, and we both like cooking. Not to mention with current prices, it's an interesting experience to see how many different ways you can combine whatever is cheapest in the store. See, I respect that. So I see a lot of answers from various countries basically cooking most of the time and then having leftovers, transforming it into another meal later in the night, or possibly saving them for the next morning and taking them to work or whatever. And so basically, like I said, this really just depends on the person. I don't really think it depends on the country. I think everywhere can have people that eat out a lot. I think everywhere can have people that cook a lot. I don't really think this matters what country you're in. It just matters what you like. Here's an interesting one. Are there any American classic films that are also popular or even considered a classic in your country? That's not America. Someone from Austria. Among film nerds, quite a few of them. Among the general population, only a handful. I'd say most have seen The Godfather, Breakfast at Tiffany's, and maybe Lawrence of Arabia. Contrary to what Americans think, nobody has seen The Sound of Music here. The Third Man is considered one of the foreign classics and often thought of as American despite being British. Pretty much everything considered a U.S. classic would also be considered so in the U.K. Maybe not some of the super early stuff on that list, but a decent chunk of it. The best example would be something like It's a Wonderful Life, which is a very popular Christmas movie, perhaps the most popular one. Interesting, in Poland, Home Alone, which has the status of a traditional Christmas movie, is popular as well. well. Die Hard, yeah, don't forget Die Hard. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I don't know why some people don't know that. Even Lithuania adds Home Alone is shown every December. So yeah, that's interesting. These are classics. I don't really think it matters where you are. They are great movies, right? Regardless of where they were made, they are Christmas classics. And that's cool to see that you can find that and enjoy that really no matter where you are around Christmas time. Another one that I was looking for was classic Westerns. I wondered if those are popular elsewhere because they're super popular here to this day. For example, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Now, of course, some of the Westerns were made here in the U.S., including Clint Eastwood movies. But then, of course, you have, well, what's known here in the U.S. as spaghetti Westerns, where Clint Eastwood had a lot of famous movies that were actually filmed in Europe. I think he filmed some in Spain, France, Italy, a lot of them. And The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, as we mentioned, is an Italian movie. And they're just great movies. I imagine they're pretty popular in Europe. This is an interesting one. For Europe, what is the most common pizza topping? I don't know if I can narrow it down for everyone, but I would say generally in the U.S., the most common pizza, the iconic pizza, would be, cheese, pepperoni, and sausage. Maybe cheese and pepperoni being the most popular, right behind it being pepperoni and sausage. I would say that is quintessential, American pizza. I would like to see what other people eat in other countries. Italy mentions margherita is definitely the most popular in Italy. Tomato, mozzarella, and fresh basil. That actually sounds amazing. And I have had similar to that here in the U.S., but I mentioned it sounds amazing because if it tastes good here, I know it tastes absolutely amazing in Italy. Someone also mentions that tuna and onions on pizza are personal faves. French fries as pizza toppings are not heard of either. Now, that's interesting. Here in America, where we do have a lot of interesting random foods, I've never seen tuna and onions on a pizza, nor have I seen French fries, which kind of surprises me. I feel like that could be like an American thing, we throw fries and whatever else on there, but I've never seen it. Interesting to see that may it not be the most popular, there are people in Europe, especially Germany here, that enjoy Hawaiian pizza, which is pineapples and ham on pizza. And I have to say, that's always almost like a meme here in the U.S. Some people love it. Some people absolutely hate it, think it's like a sin or something. I gotta admit, Hawaiian pizza is freaking good. There's even a pizza report from 2019 suggesting the largest food delivery service in Northern Europe. These were the most popular pizzas. Vesuvio, which is cheese and ham, was number 1. Kebab pizza, number 2. Again, these are not really seen here in the U.S. from my experience. Margarita, basil, tomatoes, and mozzarella, number 3. Hawaiian, number 4. And you can read the rest of this list if you would like. Pause and read. I'm not going to read all these out loud, but it's very interesting. I have to admit, a lot of these are quite different. Some of them are the same, but as I expected, pizza in Europe tends to be quite different. I think that's kind of cool. This is something I've always found interesting. What is an iconic American souvenir to you? So if you are someone from the other side of the world and you travel to the United States, what would your idea be of something you just have to take home from the U.S.? I wouldn't know what that is. I live here. I see a bunch of, American stuff, but it's kind of hard to identify because everything here is American to me. I live here. So someone from Germany says, a belt buckle in the shape of Texas, a touristy cowboy hat, maybe a pair of cheap cowboy boots. Yeah, that is very, stereotypical American. But you know what? It would fit the bill. If you got that, people would most likely know, hey, did you get that in the United States? Baseball cap from your favorite team, official merch. That's a good one. I should have known that. That is a really good one. Baseball is huge here, and some people aren't even into baseball here in America, and they still wear baseball hats. It's literally a fashion statement here. American football jersey, yeah, that would be a good one, I suppose. Food products like barbecue sauce or candy, stuff that travels well. A big gulp cup from 7-Eleven. Wow, that would be considered like an American souvenir? That's hilarious. I mean, they're really big, though, aren't they? They're like... How big do they go? They're huge. I don't remember if they're like 32 ounces or bigger. I don't remember. But yeah, I guess that could be very American, having a big drink cup. A stuffed bald eagle toy wearing an American flag bandana. Merc, a Route 66 sign. Yeah, that would be really cool. Red party cups, I've seen this before. That's like a thing in other countries as like an American-themed party. I think that's hilarious. Here, they're just cheap cups. You can get a whole like 30, 40 pack of red Solo cups, they're called, for like $1 or $2. They're really cheap. This is interesting. Someone from Finland says, I don't know if this is a thing in Spain, but Reese's peanut butter cups are loved in many places in Europe, but you can't really find them. If you do, the price is outrageous. Reese's, growing up, up, I don't really eat candy now, but Reese's growing up was my favorite candy bar, which is not even a bar, it's 2 Reese cups. But you get my point. It was my favorite brand. They're just so delicious, right? And it's weird to think that they're not as common in other countries and to hear they're expensive. Here they're really cheap and you can find them absolutely everywhere. But hey, that's going to be it for this one. That's taking a look at some American versus Europe kind of topics in Ask Europe. I thought that was really interesting. I would love to do more like this. So let me know what you thought in the comments down below. And if you liked it, of course, throw a like on there if you did like it so I know that, and subscribe to be part of this amazing community. Looking at differences and similarities between the U.S. and other countries is always fascinating to me. Anywho, I hope to see you in the next one. My name is Ian. You watched an IWrocker, and until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.